All right, 7 days. What of it? What's the significance of it? Why? Let's talk about the Bible and why God created the world in 7 days. Right? Everybody reads this. Everybody takes this literally. What is going on here? Right? That God really created the world in 7 days. Well, the short answer is no. No, God did not create the world in 7 days. Evolution is a fact. The God consciousness exists in all things, not just one being floating out there in the universe, and this can be discovered upon spiritual examination. You know, people who have gotten into states of consciousness and things of that matter. But it does say in the Bible that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So am I calling God a liar? No. This is the book of God because the truth of God is in it, but not because God literally wrote it himself. And this right here isn't a book. This is a Hebrew worded, right? Got the paleo over here, got the pictograph over here. Okay, and this isn't that Alan Horvath word study nonsense. This is these are the original spellings, which weren't that advanced until you get over here into the Paleo Hebrew, where things get more, specific in the writing. But I'm not gonna go into that because that's not what this Bible is about, or what this video is about. Right? This is about why did God create the world in 7 days? Well, what's the significance with the number 7? Right? 7 churches, 7 candles, 7 days. What's going on? Well, in mysticism, and this is the only way it makes any sense, and specifically in the Hindu tradition, it's recognized that humans have 7 energy centers. 7 chakras. The first one is basically like right around in your at the bottom of your spinal cord, right? Somewhere in your anus. Then the second one is around in your belly. You know, and then you got this one somewhere in the middle that's like that's your solar plexus, and then above that is the heart chakra. Then you got the throat, right? And the Christ eye, somewhere around in here. And the crown is above your head. It's not even in your head. Like people point in your head, it's actually above your head, but that's a story of a different topic. But the Bible actually is talking about creating the world in 7, when it talks about creating the world in 7 days. It's also interesting to note that it has 7, that we have 7 chakras. And what is even more interesting is this right here, which better clarifies what's going on. This is Genesis in Hebrew, except in Hebrew, we don't call it Genesis. We call it Bereshith, right? Bereshith is what we call it in Genesis. That means, you might think that means in the beginning. It means in the summit, at the start of something. Like the beginning of your spine. It's kind of spine tingling when you think about it. But let me just read some of this in Hebrew, in the ancient Masoretic pronunciation, which, if you don't know what that is, look up Rabbi David Bar Haim. Don't listen to his religious teachings, because that's going to separate you from what's really going on here. His pronunciation is proper, but his understanding of the Bible is flawed. But we're going to read it right here. where it says, Bereshith bara Elohim eth hashamayim wa eth ha'oras. Ha'oras haithathahu wa vohu. Hoshech al pene thehom. So what does that say? In the summit, in the beginning, God created, God filled up, is actually what it says. It says, bara, and if you know anything about the word bara in Hebrew, it means to fill something up. It's really no different than filling up a water bottle. So in the summit, God filled up the what? Eth at Hashamayim, the skies, wa'eth ha'aras, and at the ground. God filled up at the sky and at the ground. Right? Most people, they're like, what the fuck does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It's talking about enlightenment. What? The Bible is talking about enlightenment. It's talking about enlightenment. Bereshith bara Elohim eth hashamayim wa eth ha'aras. Let's continue reading. Ha'aras haitha thohu wa vohu. Ha'aras and the sky, or not the sky, the land. Ha'aras is land. Haitha was thohu wa vohu. It was empty. It was empty and unfilled. Choshech al peneh thehom, and darkness was on the face of the deep. It was on the face of the deep. It's talking about your body, right? Before you knew God, before you knew about enlightenment, before you came into God realization, if you did come into God realization yet, I haven't fully even come into God realization. Your body was dark. It was empty. It was unfilled. What? What? All right, let's continue. Ruach Elohim merchafath al penei hamayim, and the Spirit of God, Shakti, right? Where Ruach Elohim merchafath, and the Spirit of God fluttered on the faces of the water. What the fuck? Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or Wahi Or. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. That's the AUM. That's the beginning of a mantra, is the AUM. That's what lights it up. It's also interesting that the word for day in Hebrew is yom. And the word of creation, right? The word that God used for creation is om in the Hindu text. It's just yom. It's different in Hebrew. They use the word yom. Let's keep reading. Right? Elohim merchafath al penei hamayim vayomer Elohim Yehi Or Wahi Or. Vayar Elohim et ha'or kitov. And Elohim saw that the light was functional. That it was good and functional, that it worked. Wavdel Elohim bin ha'or wa bin ha'choshech. And God separated between the light and the darkness. Between the ignorant and the enlightened. Vaikra Elohim la'or yom. Yom. Welechoshech korra layla. Wahi Arav Wahi Vokir Yom Ehad. Right? Was a day unit. And Elohim separated between the light and the darkness. And Elohim called to the light, he called Yom. And to the darkness, he called Choshech. He called that Choshech. Wait, no. Yeah. No. He called the Choshech Layla. He called the darkness Layla. So Yom is the day. Layla is the night. Wavdel Elohim ha'u. Wait, okay. Okay. Wavdel. Wait, no, that's not what it says. It says Wahi Erev. I got the wrong verse. Wahi Voker Yom Echad. And was morning and was evening the first day. So the evening passed, the morning passed, the first day of creation. So, there's some mystical stuff going on in here. This is not all just a creation story. It's not all just black and white, where they say that there's only one way to interpret the Bible and you believe in what I say and that's the only way. Listen, this is not what people think it is. And you have to understand, you have to actually look at, dare I say, other religions to see what is going on here. That you have to actually look at mysticism. They don't want you to get into mysticism because the people who wrote this are mystics. They don't want you to know that. Because that's when you really start understanding the truth about the Bible. That's when you really become enlightened. They don't want you to fill up the skies and the land with God's light, like it says in the Bible in the beginning. That's the last thing they want. Wayomer Elohim Yehi Rakia. And Elohim said, let there be a Rakia. A dome or a separation of something. Rakia. Rakia. Chakra. You don't think Rakia means chakra, do you? Just an idea. Wayomer Elohim Yehi Rakia Bethuch Hamayim. And Elohim said, let there be a dome in the middle of these waters that it's talking about. I wonder if that's talking about the Shakti or the spinal fluid that the Spirit of God was hovering on the faces of. Okay. Hamayim Wahi Mivdel bin Mayim Lamayim. Right? He separated between the waters. And that, you know, we'll go to the next video and we'll talk about that one.